Alrighty, we're looking at the Eric Noble case study here. Let's scroll down and take a look at question 1 before we start reading. With respect to the law, which of the following statements is most likely true? A. Noble violated Standard 1A knowledge of the law. B. Wong must abide by the CFA Institute Code and Standards in all his research work. And C. Jenny must adhere to the CFA Institute Code and Standards. So, looks like we're going to be looking at these 3 different folks and kind of deciding whether they need to follow the CFA standards or their local law standards. And so just as a refresh, whenever applicable law is stricter than the requirements of the code standards, we're going to follow the laws. However, when CFA code and standards are more strict, then we'll follow the CFA. So basically, whatever's more strict, that's what these folks need to follow. Eric Noble, Richard Wong, and Christine Jenny are all investment analysts and citizens of the U.S. So we've got citizens of the U.S., so the U.S. laws are in play. Mr. Noble's employer is a multinational investment company based in the U.S., but he's stationed in Sahara. So we've got Sahara in play as well now, too, for Eric Noble. A country with a fast-growing capital market. Local laws are minimal. In form and content, and there are no punitive measures in place to discourage the release of material non-public information in a non-procedural manner. Noble, believing that as a U.S. citizen working for a U.S.-based company, he should comply only with U.S. law and ignore local law. So we've got information for Noble here. He's basically saying, I don't have to follow the Sahara laws, but I should comply with the U.S. law over local laws. That's going to be true because these local laws are more strict. So we can go ahead and take a look at A. Noble violated the standard. He did not because he's following the more strict law. So now we get to Wong. Wong, on the other hand, works in the landlocked nation of Switzerland. To prevent front-running of client trades, local laws impose a restriction period spanning at least 60 calendar days before and 10 calendar days after issuance of any research report. So the key here is going to be the 60 days before and 10 calendar days after. This is kind of requires you to remember something pretty specific from the material, which is CFA recommends 30 calendar days before and 5 calendar days after. So the Swiss law is more strict than the CFA, so Wong should be following the Switzerland standards. So let's look at what it says for Wong. Wong must abide by the CFA Institute Code and Standards in all his research work. So this is referring to the front running of the trades. So he must abide by Swiss law, not the CFA. By abiding by the Swiss law, he's going to abide by this, but he needs to comply with local law since it's more strict. All right, then lastly, Jenny resides in Florida, USA. She, however, works in the island nation of Panamba, where she does business with a client who is a citizen of Sahara. Panambian securities laws and regulations are less strict than the dictates of the CFA Institute Code and Standards. Although the more strict law applies, a clause within the local law states that the law of the client's home country governs. So for Jenny's question, we need to look at whether she must adhere to the CFA Code and Standards or Panambian. And it says right here they're less strict than the CFA. So she's going to be must adhere to the CFA Institute Code and Standards. So C will be our answer as most likely true. Question 2. Should Noble share the fund's information with Simpson? Yes, because disclosure would benefit the client. No, because he is bound by client confidentiality. Or yes, provided he promptly notifies the trustees. So we left off at this paragraph right here. So let's start reading. One of Noble's clients is the board of trustees of a private university endowment fund. The trustees provide Noble with the fund's financial information, including planned expenditures. Noble receives a phone call one day on Sunday afternoon from Simpson. Okay, that's the character we're looking for. A prominent alumnus requesting that Noble email him comprehensive financial information about the fund. According to Simpson, he has a potential contributor, but needs the information that day to close the deal and cannot contact any of the trustees. Eric Noble is a strong candidate for the CFA program, so it looks like we've got all the information here in this paragraph. So Noble's client is the board of trustees at this private university endowment. It says that Simpson is a prominent alumnus, not one of the trustees. So divulging any information, even though it would benefit the client, the Noble needs to get confirmation from the client first before giving them any information. So let's scroll down, look at our answers. So should Noble share the information? We've got yes, no, yes. So that makes it right away. So we can go ahead and just go with B. No, he can't share because he is bound by client confidentiality. He needs to notify and get permission to share that information first. Answer B. Question 3. In which of the following scenarios has CFA Institute standard of professional conduct been violated? We've got A, Noble's insistence on hiring only CFA charter holders or candidates. B, Noble's welcome note to Johnson. Or C, Johnson's professional biography. Looking at these right off the bat, Noble, if he only wants to hire CFA charter holders or candidates, that's probably not violating the standard. I mean, that's his own personal business. It's his business. He can hire who he wants. Not saying it's the best idea. It certainly is not, but it's his business, so it's probably not violating anything here. So let's scroll up to where we left off last, which is right here. So Eric Noble is a strong advocate of the CFA program. His business cards and office letterheads all have the CFA logo printed on them, and he only hires CFA candidates or charter holders. So that's referring to that answer A there, and yeah, no red flags there. Noble recently hired Mark Johnson, a CFA candidate and recent finance graduate from a Tier 1 university with excellent quantitative and qualitative skills. Johnson has passed levels 1 and 2 of the CFA program and is currently awaiting the results of the final exam. In his welcome note to Johnson, Noble notes that, as a CFA finalist, I have a lot of faith in your work. I expect you to perform considerably better than most of the analysts we already have, and I'm confident of your promotion in a few years. In my personal opinion, I believe the CFA program has nourished you with immensely important portfolio management skills that will go a long way toward helping this company attain its goals. So in this paragraph here, we did Johnson's welcome note was part of the answer. So this sentence here, I expect you to perform considerably better than most of our analysts we already have. This is kind of implying that by passing the CFA, because it says as a CFA finalist, I expect you to perform considerably better. And you're not allowed to kind of imply superior performance or being a better worker by passing the CFA or being a CFA finalist. Also, I'm not really sure CFA finalist is the proper term. I think it should be you should probably just be listed as a CFA Level III candidate or something like that. So B, this seems like a little bit of a red flag. So B is probably going to be our answer. We haven't gotten to the professional biography yet, though, so let's keep reading and make sure the biography is fine. On the same day, Noble instructs the digital team to put up Johnson's professional biography on the company's official website, telling them, use mine as a template. Just change the name, title, CFA logo, and other information as necessary. When Johnson reports to work the following day, he finds his bio already uploaded on the website. On it is his name, firm name, it's his professional history and academic achievements, including the fact that he has passed level 1 and 2 of the CFA exam in consecutive years. Nothing there that they wouldn't be allowed to say. You can say you passed CFA level 1 and in level 1 and 2 in consecutive years. The main issue is coming up here where he's saying because he's passed these exams, he expects considerable better performance, which is not allowed. So we can go ahead and rule out C there, and we'll stick with B, Noble's welcome note. Question 4. After gaining the right to use the CFA designation, which of the following designation formats should Johnson use on his resume, business cards, and professional bio? He should cite the CFA designation first, followed by his PhD, cite the PhD designation first, followed by the CFA, or cite all his designations in any order. So let's read a little bit more. We left off right here. Within a few weeks, Johnson passed the CFA Level III of the CFA exam, and after satisfying all the requirements, he is awarded the CFA charter. Since then, he has earned both. He has earned both his CFA and a PhD in finance. He would like to have his professional bio and related documents updated to reflect these achievements. However, he is unsure of the proper method of doing so. So he's now has his PhD and he's also a CFA charter holder. So the question is basically asking, how do we list these after his name? The CFA doesn't have any requirements on how you list it after your name. As long as you do it within their guidelines, you can list your designations in whatever order you want. So we'll go with answer C, cite all designations in any order.